So now let's see the remaining pattern of questions, because we have broken this entire chapter in patterns. So here is the next one. The compound interest on 30,000 at 7% per annum is this much. That means you deposited 30,000 and you earned an interest of 4347. So what is the final amount? 30,000 plus this much. So 34347. So this is the final amount that you are going to get back. What is the rate? Rate is 7%, and this is a case of compound interest. So you can say that amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. Based on this, this is the amount. 34347 is equal to principal. What was the principal amount deposited? 30,000. So this is equal to 30,000 into 1 plus, what is rate? Rate is equal to 7. 7 by 100. Question is, how many years? We don't know the value of n, and this is what we are trying to find out. So let's solve this. So 34347 divided by 30,000 is equal to 107 by 100 to the power n. So let's see, both these are multiples of 3. So this 10,000 times, or is the above 1, 4, 4, 9. So it means 11449 by 10,000 is equal to 107 by 100 to the power n. So this number is basically 107 whole square. This is 100 whole square. So you can say 107 by 100 whole square is equal to 107 by 100 to the power n. So from here it is clear that n is equal to 2, or the time period that is not mentioned here is 2 years. Let's move to the next one. There is 80% increase in an amount in 8 years at simple interest. So what does this mean? It means if you deposited P in 8 years, it increases by 80%. Why? Because each year bank is paying you. See, in case of simple interest, each year bank pays you equal amount. So if P has increased by 80%, that means P became P plus 80%. So this 80% was given by bank in 8 years, 8 equal installments of 10% each. So each year bank was giving you 10%. So the rate is 10%. So question is, what will be the compound interest on 14,000 rupees after 3 years at the same rate? So please understand, amount increased by 80%. So 80% was given in 8 years. Simple interest. So each year bank was giving 10% as interest. So question is, now instead of simple interest, if you deposit 14,000 rupees at the same rate means 10% rate, but this time it is a case of compound interest, that how much you are going to, what will be the compound interest? So let's see. So now P is equal to 14,000, time is equal to 3 years, rate is equal to 10%. We have to find the compound interest. We don't have to find the final value. We have to find the compound interest. But in case of compound interest, the best way to do is to find the final value, subtract from initial value. The extra money that you are going to get is the compound interest. So let's see. Amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. So final amount after 3 years will be equal to 14,000 into 1 plus R by 100. So 110 by 100. So 11 by 10 cube. So that is equal to 14,000 into 11 into 11 into 11 by 10 into 10 into 10. So this is equal to 14 into 11 into 11 into 11, and this is equal to 18634. 18634. So you deposited 14,000 rupees, but you are going to get back 18634. So this extra money is the compound interest. Therefore, total compound interest that you have earned is equal to 18634 minus 14,000. So that comes out to be equal to 4634. So 4634. Let's move to the next one. If a sum of money grows to this much times when invested for 2 years in a scheme where interest is compounded annually, how long will the same sum of money take to treble if invested at the same rate of interest in a scheme where interest is computed using simple interest? So what is the meaning of the question is that in first case, a certain amount was deposited in a scheme of compound interest annually, and it was observed that in 2 years amount became 144 by 122 times of itself. So amount P became 144 by 121 P. The best way to deal with such questions is, see, if you deposit P, P will become 144 by 121 P in 2 years. I'll tell you the best way how you can deal with this. You assume that you deposited 121 and 121 became 144. So what will you call this? Is 144 equal to 144 by 122 times of 121 or not? You tell me, is this true or not? So yes, this is true. So you can easily assume fraction is given as 144 by 121. So if you deposited 121 rupees, you are going to get back 144 rupees. So this information is given in this way. Sum of money grows to 144 by 122 times. So if you see this data can be used as the dummy value. So based on these dummy values, first let us try to find out the rate. So now you can say that principal is equal to 121, amount is equal to 144, time is equal to 2 years. So time is equal to 2 years. We don't know what rate is. So let's first find out the rate. So amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N. We know everything except R. So let's substitute the values. 144 is equal to 121 into 1 plus R by 100 to the power 2. So from here, you can say 144 by 121. 144 by 121 is equal to something square. So this is 12 by 11 square. So 12 by 11 whole square is equal to 1 plus R by 100 whole square. So let's find the value of R. So it means 12 by 11 is equal to 1 plus R by 100. So if you bring this one this side, so 1 by 11 is equal to R by 100. So R comes out to be equal to 100 by 11%. So 100 by 11% is the rate. But this is not the question. Question is not about finding rate. Question says that if you deposit the money at the same rate, that means at this rate, in simple interest, then in how many years will it become 3 times? Will it get tripled? So now they are saying, now that you know the rate, we have found out the rate to be equal to 100 by 11%. Question says that Earlier you have deposited in compound interest, but this time you have to deposit it in simple interest such that the amount is tripled. That means if you deposit P, that is 100%, the bank must give you 3 times, that is 3P. Simple interest. So you are expecting bank to pay you extra 200%. So this 200% bank is going to pay you in how many years? If bank is paying you this much per year, so 200 divided by 100 by 11%. So if you solve this, this comes out to be 22 years. Now let's see a similar example. A sum of money becomes 216 by 125 of itself in 3 years at R% compound interest. Similar, you can assume the original amount to be equal to 125, the final amount to be equal to 216, time is equal to 3 years. We don't know what rate percent is. So let's substitute these values. So 120, so 216 is equal to 125 into 1 plus R by 100 whole cube. So if you solve this, 216 by 125 is equal to 1 plus R by 100 whole cube. Now if you notice, both these numbers are perfect cube. So this can be written as 6 by 5 whole cube. 216 is equal to 6 cube. 125 is equal to 5 cube. So this can be written as 6 by 5 whole cube. So this is equal to 1 plus R by 100. So from here you can say that 6 by 5 is equal to 1 plus R by 100. Sorry, this is a whole cube. So if you solve this, so 1 by 5 is equal to R by 100, or R is equal to 20%. Let's okay, see, let's see this one. 1694 is repaid after 2 years at compound interest. Which of the following is principal and rate? So we have no idea what principal is, we have no idea what rate is. So which of the 4 options fits the description? That means, can this be the true answer? That if you deposit 1200 rupees at 20% compound interest, are you going to get back this much? So let's see. So 1200 rupees. What is the rate? 20%. Time 2 years. So multiplication factor 120 by 100. So will this become equal to 1694? So let's see. So 6 by 5, 6 by 5. So 5 5s are 25. So 25. So 8. So 16 8s are 24. So 24 into 36. So 24 into 36. So is that equal to 1694? So it seems to be the case. So 144 72. So 4 6 8 64. So no, this is not equal to 1694. Let's check option number 2. Let's see if this is the true option. So 1400, rate of increase 10%. That means 110 by 10. That means 11 by 10 into 11 by 10. Will this be equal to 1694? So 14 into 121. So 121 into 14. So 484 and 121. So 49616. Yes. So this option is the correct option. So this option, when substituted, fits the description. Now let us see this one. A sum of money is invested at a certain percent compound interest. The interest earned for first year is rupees 200 and the interest earned for second year is rupees 208. Find the principal. Please understand something. Before solving this question, let us understand, or let us refresh a very important concept that you need to understand. Let's suppose you deposit money P in 2 schemes, simple interest and compound interest. So money deposited money deposited is equal to, let's say, P, rate offered is equal to R%. So let's see what will happen in first 2 years. What happens in first 2 years? Let's understand. Let's follow only interest. So you have deposited P. So after 1 year, if you go to the bank, so this is the original money. Bank has given R% as interest. So in first year you will go to the bank will tell you, you want to see the total amount in your account. So let me show to you. So the bank will tell you, this is what you deposited, this is what we have given to you. If you go to the other bank which was offering compound interest, because you have deposited same money in both these banks and you are comparing them. So if you go to the bank number 2, second bank, after 1 year, so this bank will tell you, so this is what you have deposited and this is what we give to you, R% of P. So up till first year, both simple interest and compound interest, they behave as same. But the problem arises from second year. In second year, the bank is again going to pay the same interest in case of simple interest. In case of simple interest, bank would again pay R% of P. But in case of compound interest, the money that has just come as interest, now this interest will also earn interest. So in case of compound interest, you can say that whatever you are getting as interest, so that interest is also earning interest for next year. So if you go to the bank next year, bank will tell you, you have deposited P. Last year we have given this much to you. So again this year you are going to get R% of this plus R% of this as well. So R% of P you are going to get sure, but this money that had come into your account just last year, this is also going to earn profit. So additional R% of P is what you are going to get in the second bank, which you are not going to get in the first bank for the second year. So let me help you with an example. So let's suppose that you have deposited rupees 10,000 in both these banks, simple interest and compound interest, and let's suppose that rate is equal to 20%. So what will happen, please understand. So after 1 year, if you look only the interest, so in this bank interest will be 20% of 1,000, so 2,000. In this bank also the interest that you are going to get is 2,000 only. But after 2 years, if you go to this bank and you want to see what is the interest you have earned so far, so each year bank is paying you exactly same amount, 2,000 last year, 2,000 this year as well. But in compound interest, something different happens. Last year bank had given you 2,000. This year bank is definitely going to give you 2,000. But last year's money is also earning interest. So last year already 2,000 had come in your account. Now 20% of 2,000. So 20% of 2,000, that is equal to 400. So you can say you get interest on interest in case of compound interest, but this is not happening in case of simple interest. So if you ever see such questions that last year in case of compound interest, if you see these type of questions, that last year bank had given me 600, but this year bank is giving me 630. So why bank is giving you extra money? Because the last year's money. See, bank had given you 600 last year. So this year you are definitely going to get 600. But you got rupees 30 extra. So this 30 rupees that extra you are earning, you have earned because this 600 is getting interest. Interest has to be given on this 600. So you can say that this 30 rupees of extra earning which is happening in second year is due to the interest on interest earned in the last year. So this is the concept. So now let's apply this concept here. So a sum of money is invested at a certain percent compound interest. The interest earned for first year. So the interest that you have earned in first year is 200. Next year you are definitely going to get 200. But you got 208. So this 8 rupees that extra you are earning, this is because you have got interest on last year's interest. So you can say 8 rupees 8 is the interest earned, on previous year's interest. Fine. So if the rate percent, we have to find the principal. So before finding the principal, let's find the rate. So you have to ask now that why did bank give me this 8 rupees extra? Bank gave you 8 rupees extra because this 8 is the interest on 200. So rate can be given as that 8 is what percent of 200, because this rupees 8 that you have earned is interest on previous year's interest. So 8 is the interest you have earned on 200. So 8 is what percent of 200? So answer is 4%. 8 is 4% of 200. That means this 200 that you have earned last year must be 4% of the original deposit, because first year you have got 200 as interest on original deposit. It means 200 is 4% of original deposit, of original principal. So from this you can calculate the value of original principal. So let's see. So you had two numbers, 200, 208. So I thought that 8 is the interest generated from previous year's interest. So 8 is what percent of 200? So rate came out to be equal to 400. Now this 200 is 4% of something. So you can say that 200 is equal to 4% of the original deposit P. So 200 is equal to 4 by 100 into P. So 25 times. So P comes out to be 25 into 200. So that is equal to 5,000. 5,000 is the original deposit. Now I will tell you a shortcut. So please understand the shortcut to this. So now let's see the shortcut. Suppose the original deposit is P. First year's interest. First year's interest is 200. Second year's interest is 208. So you understood that you are earning 8 rupees of interest when you have earned 200 last year. So this 8 is what percent of 200? 200 would be exactly same percent of P, won't it be? Because you have earned 8 because you have deposited 200, or you can say because of this 200, you are earning this rupees 8. So you earn 8 when you deposit 200. So last year you have earned 200. So what you must have deposited before that? So you can solve it this way as well. So P comes out to be equal to 200 into 200 divided by 8. So 25 into 200, 5,000. So this is a very strong shortcut. So let's see this question. The interest in first two successive years were rupees 400 and 420. So first year 400, next year 420. 420 means 400 you are definitely going to earn. This 20 rupees extra that you are earning is because of interest generated on this. So find the original sum. Let the original sum be P. So you are earning 20 rupees because you have deposited rupees 400. So 20 is earned when because of 400. So because of what amount? Because of what amount had you earned 400? So proportionality is maintained here. So from here P is equal to, so 20 into 4,000. So 8,000 is the final answer. Very great shortcut. Let's move to the next one. The least number of complete years in which a sum of money put at 20% compound interest will be more than doubled. So 20% compound interest. So each year value is increased by 20%. So what is the multiplication factor? 100 plus 20, 120 by 100. So anything, so P gets multiplied by 6 by 5 each year. So this indicates an increase of 20%. So for how many years will you have to multiply by 6 by 5 before it becomes double? That means you want to keep on multiplying by 6 by 5 so that it doubles. Doubles means getting multiplied by 2. Getting multiplied by 2. So let's see a shortcut for these kind of questions. So it basically means how many times should you keep on multiplying 6 by 5 with itself? How many times? We don't know how many times should we multiply 6 by 5 with itself, so that first time its value becomes either equal to 2 or effectively greater than 2. So let's do that. Is 6 by 5 greater than 2? No. So if you deposit this money only for 1 year, so that is not going to happen. So we need at least 1 more year. So is this equal to 2 or is this greater than 2? 36 by 25. Is this greater than 2? No. So at least 1 more year we have to try. So 6 into 6 into 6, 216. 216 by 125. Is this greater than 2? No, this is not greater than 2. That means we have to wait for another year. That means 6 by 5 into 6 by 5 into 6 by 5. This much is not sufficient. So we have to wait for another 1 year. So let's see, is this sufficient now? 216 by 125 into 6 by 5. Further, if we do that, now is this sufficient? So 1296 by 5 by 625. So yes, this now is greater than 2. This is greater than 2. So it means if you multiply P with this number, so this will become greater than 2P. So the final answer that you will get will be definitely greater than 2P. It means 4 such multiplications are required. 4 such multiplications are required. It means you will have to keep your money deposited for at least 4 years, least number of years, 4 years. Let's take another example. The least number of complete years in which a sum of money put out at 40% compound interest will become 4 times. Now not double but 4 times. So what is 40%? 40% is equal to 2 by 5. It means if you deposit 5, you are going to get back. If you deposit 5, bank is going to give you additional 2 units. So 7 units. So multiplication factor is 7 by 5. So it means how many times do you need to multiply 7 by 5 with itself so that its value becomes at least greater than 4? So is 7 by 5 greater than 4? No. Then at least one more year is required. So is now the value greater than 4? 49 by 25? No. Now, so 7 into 7, 49, 49 into 7, 343. So up till now, this is 343 by 125. So is this value greater than 4? So no, this is not greater than 4. So at least one more year. So this is 343 into 7. So 7 threes are 1, 29, 9. So this is 2401. 2401 by 625. So still not greater than 4. So this is still less than 4. That means one more year you have to wait. So if you wait for one more year, so now let's see what the value is. So yes, after 5 times getting multiplied by itself, for the first time the product is greater than 4. So for the first time the product becomes greater than 4 when you multiply the same number 5 times. So at least 5 years are required. Let's move to next one. A sum of money placed at compound interest doubles itself in 4 years. So if you keep P deposited for 4 years, so it gets double. Getting double means it gets multiplied by 2. So after every 4 years, it gets multiplied by 2. It gets doubled. So the question is, in how many years will it becomes 8 times of itself? So to make P, to multiply P with 2, 4 years of time is taken by the bank. Money getting doubled means what? The principal is multiplied by 2. So to multiply this by 2 once, 4 years of time is required. Now 8 is equal to 2 into 2 into 2. So you are asking question that if to multiply with 2 one time, bank takes 4 years of time. 4 years of time. So how many years of time the same bank will take to multiply P with 2 3 times? So you have to do this multiplication 3 times. To do this multiplication one time, bank takes 4 years of time. So total time taken, total time needed is equal to 3 cycles. 3 cycles. Each cycle is of 4 years. So 12 years. In each cycle, the amount is getting doubled. So how many cycles are needed to make the amount 8 times? So 8 is equal to 2 into 2 into 2. So to make it 8, 3 times multiplication is needed. That means 3 complete cycles are required. So one cycle takes 4 years to complete. So 3 cycles will take 12 years to complete. Next one. If a sum on compound interest becomes 3 times in 4 years. So one cycle is equal to 4 years. And what is happening in that cycle? Amount is getting multiplied by 3 times. So then what is at the same rate, the sum will become 81 times. See, these questions are asked based on certain data. These are not random data. 81 and 3. Since 81 can be expressed as power of 3, only then this question can be solved. So 81 is equal to 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. It indicates 4 cycles are required. 4 cycles are required because each cycle means getting multiplied by 3, tripling. So one cycle is equal to 4 years. So therefore 4 cycles are required. Total time required is equal to 4 into 4 cycles, 16 years. Let's move to the next one. A sum of money becomes 27 times of itself in 15 years. So P got multiplied by 27 in 15 years. Question is, how many years did it take for the amount to become 81 times of itself? How many? The correct question is how many more years? So how many more years did it take for the amount to become 81 times of itself? Please remember, this is how many more years. So this is the premise of the question. Now please notice 27 and 18 both are multiples of 3. So it means for this to happen, it took 15 years. Now question is, how many more years are needed to make it 81 times? So this indicates 3 cycles. So 3 cycles is equal to 15 years. So each cycle is taking 5 years to complete. 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. So one more time you have to multiply by 3, then only it will become 81 times. So how many more years? So one more cycle is needed. Already 27 times it has already become 27 times. That means one more multiplication of 3 is needed. For that, 5 years of wait. So answer is 5 years. Another 5 years are required. Let's move to the next one. A sum of money becomes this much after 3 years and this much after 6 years. That means you deposited P after 3 years. This became 2200. And exactly after 3 years from now, that means total of 6 years. So 3 years already gone, another 3 years, that means total of 6 years, this became this much. Fine. So just understand the multiplication factor, because the time duration is same. Earlier it was getting doubled, tripled. This time I don't know how many times it is getting, increased by how many times. But one thing that the proportion is going to be maintained. So if P became this much and 2200 became this much, this proportionality will be maintained. Doubled, tripled. How many times we don't know, but this proportionality has to be maintained. So based on this, 220 and 4400. So let's solve this here. So it means P by 2200 is equal to, so these both cancel each other out, 1 by 2 is equal to half. So from here P is equal to 1100. Proportionality is maintained. So what is meant by this? So let me suppose it is said that the amount increases by 40% in 3 years. So what does this mean? It means that if P becomes Q after 3 years and Q becomes R after 3 years, then what will you say? You will say that Q is equal to 140% of P, 40% increase. So this is 100 plus 40%. So Q is equal to 140% of P. Similarly, R is equal to 140% of Q. So if you take the ratio, so you can say that Q by R is equal to P by Q. That means what relation P will have with Q, same relation Q will have with R. Proportional increase is the concept of compound interest. Now let's move to the next question. Let's see this one. The population of a town was 3600 3 years back. It is 4800 right now. what will be the population of the town 3 years down the line if the rate of growth of population have been constant and have been compounded annually? Same concept. It means 3600. This is the data 3 years ago. So 3600 in 3 years, in 3 years of time, this becomes equal to 4800. Now the question is, in coming 3 years, what will 4800 become? What will this be equal to? So proportionality will be maintained because time gap is same. Time gap is same. So you can say 3600 to 4800 will be exactly equal to 4800 to the missing number. So let's find out the missing number. 3648, 2 by 3. Both are multiples of 12. So this is 3 by 4 rather. 3 by 4. So it means the missing number is equal to 4 into 4800 divided by 3. So 16 3s are 48. So 1600 into 4 comes out to be equal to 6400. Proportionality maintained.